off your boots, lean and let's talk. Real world wisdom for your everyday walk. This is PWC Truth Talk. Come on, straight shooting insight for the long haul. From the boardroom to your hometown block. Get it honest, get it clear on PWC Truth Talk.
Have you ever noticed how easy it is to chase something we think will finally make us feel complete? We tell ourselves, if I can just find that right relationship, or if I can make more money, if people would approve of me, if I could finally get everything under control, or if I could just be good enough. And maybe we would feel secure. Maybe we would finally feel loved. Maybe we would finally feel like we matter. But what happens when we get what we thought we would needed and still feel empty? Welcome to PWC Truth Talk Podcast. I'm Steve, and joining me is Pastor Chachi. The heart of Pittsburgh Wesleyan Church is to bring hope to people. Today we want to talk about places we often look for love, value, peace, and identity, and why those things can never carry the weight we put on them. So Chachi, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, we're hanging in there. We're doing good. I had my nap. We'll see if it woke me up or not.
I don't know right now, but maybe tonight you'll have a hard time falling asleep.
Well, I stay up late because I'll be working on some stuff.
All right.
They're working on the website, and I'm about got it done. Just gotta get some forms connected, and I think we'll pretty much have it ready to go. So, okay, here's a question we're going to start out with tonight, Chachi. So, why do we keep returning to the things that had never really been able to satisfy our hearts?
Well, the truth is this: those things, they actually do give us something. You understand?
Yeah.
They just can't give us what we ultimately need. You see, and I think that matters. Okay, so if we look at Jeremiah says that God's people had abandoned the spring of living water. They abandoned that. And they dug for themselves broken cisterns. That's wells that couldn't hold water. And here's the thing about a broken well, though. It doesn't mean that it holds no water. You understand? Okay. There might be some water there. You might actually get something from that broken well. There might still be some water in there. It just can't sustain you.
Right.
You see, and I think that's why we keep going back. You see, we learn pretty early how to get certain things that we need. That's what we do. That's how humans function. We learn how to meet needs through the different ways that we act. And you see, achievement can make me or you or any of us feel valuable. You see? Mm-hmm. And when people approve of us, when we get that approval, it can make us feel loved.
Mm-hmm.
And then control can make me feel safe.
Right. Being
needed can make me feel important. Success can make me feel like I matter.
Okay.
Even church and ministry can become a place where I try to prove that I'm good enough. It happens in church even, you see? And for a moment, all of that stuff, it actually works, but just for a moment. It's not that it doesn't work. It works for a moment. That's what makes these wells, these broken wells, that's what makes them so powerful. It's not that there's nothing there. It's there's something there, but it can't sustain you. You see, the problem is this: when we get anxious and when we get afraid, we tend to go back to what we know. So anytime we try to do something new, once we get anxious, we don't know how to do that new thing automatically yet. So what do? We go back to the thing that we've learned. We become reactive. We grab for control. We look for reassurance, or we need somebody's approval.
Okay.
Or we blame people. You see, or we try to fix other people, or we just try to gather more information, or we try to work harder, we try to perform, anything that might quiet the thing that's inside of us. You see, so maybe the question isn't, why do I keep going back to that stupid broken well? Maybe the question is, what am I asking this well that I keep going to? What am I asking it to give me?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not really chasing success. Maybe I'm trying, maybe I'm trying to know, maybe I'm not trying to chase success or money or approval. Maybe I'm trying to know that I really do matter.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not really chasing those things. Maybe I'm trying to know that, you know what, I am loved. Am I trying to prove that somehow? You see, this is where the problems are. You see, we keep asking temporary things to answer eternal questions. It's kind of like hunger. It's kind of like we're trying to search for a food that will keep us satiated and that we won't ever get hungry again.
Big word.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I know it's yeah, when we don't have nothing else to feel that need in our lives, that we feel empty, we're striving for things that never last. People is always out to look for money. Try to get, if I got more money, okay. And then they finally get it. Then they realize they're still not satisfied. Is
right.
that's kind of what you're saying? Is just we're chasing these temporary things that never could fill us.
But this is the trick though. See, there's a trick to this that you have to understand, that your mind plays, and that you have to understand, like, this is the way it happens. Again, you got to go back in Jeremiah. Sees they turn to these broken wells. Okay.
Okay.
So you got to picture a cup that has a crack in it. Okay.
Right.
So you pour the water in. It's not a cup with no hole where the cup's never getting full. It has a crack in it, so it slowly leaks. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is you want all of these things. And so now you're trying to find a way, usually do it since you're a kid. How do I get these things? And so what happens is, let's say, you're a kid and you're not getting attention, and somehow you start making a joke, and you got some good jokes when you're young, and your parents start laughing. And they're like, ah, ha, ha, man, he makes us fun. So now you're like, oh, I got this attention. Oh, here's what my thing is. I can make people laugh. And see, what happens is when you make people laugh, you actually get that water in your cup that's broken, but there's still water in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, it fills you up, but it's temporary. But we keep looking for the reaction rather than trying to look inside and see what's broken.
Right.
We keep trying to fix. We have to stop trying to fix and basically just look and say, okay, here's why I keep wanting money. I want money because it makes me feel better than someone else. I like to sing everywhere I go, whether it's at a church choir or wherever it is, because that's how I get my attention. Or I like to diet and exercise because this is how I get my attention. You see? But the thing is, it's never enough. You see, our desires are so deep that they can never be filled.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Okay. So something like our main truth that we have here, it says temporary comfort can ease the pain for the moment. Okay. But it cannot heal the deepest thirst of our heart.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. What are some of the broken wells people depend on today for their value and identity? We all want to be valued, like you said, and we want to be recognized. So what is it? What is it that we try to seek?
I think, there's easy ones. There's ones that we just said, like money and appearance, social media, career success. Those are always the easy ones that come right to mind. But there's also the ones that don't look like they're broken, like being needed or being admired or being a good parent or being successful in ministry or having people agree with you, having control. See, here's the thing that we have to be careful of. You know what yours is, and I know what mine is. And if you don't know what yours is, you have some kind of clue. You understand? Because a lot of times when we start talking about this, people will just kind of, again, put it out there rather than understanding what is yours. You see, the thing is, like I said before, everybody has some kind of, I call this like an addiction, these broken wells, because you keep going to this broken well and it's addiction. And some addictions are just easy to see. You can see someone on drugs, or you can see someone gambling, or someone drinking. You can say, oh, look what theirs are. But the other ones that most of us wear are hidden because they're inside our heart.
Right.
So the thing is, you can't really put it on a list. You have to be able to ask yourself what makes you uncomfortable. Because it can be anything, even like I put here, like being a good parent, like people think, oh, I'm being a good parent, I love my kids more than anything, but your kids can be an idol.
Uh-huh.
You understand? So it's really, it can be any of these things.
Chachi, you see that a lot I notice that a lot in sports, that the parents, they get all upset and riled because they can somehow try to get their value from what their kids are doing. If the kids got to be doing good in sports,
Right.
You see that? I mean, some of these parents really get ridiculous.
And why do you think that is?
They want to, they're just trying to feel important, and so they may have a pain of loneliness. They may have a pain of that, how would I put it? That, I just don't feel like I'm good enough or something like that. So they need someone to help to offset that pain.
How does that work then? How do you think that works though?
I don't think it works very good, because it may temporary, like I said, it may be a temporary feel good moment, but you still come back to this one nagging thing. Okay, did I do it right? Or, is people really care about what I say? I'm still not, I'm still feel like I haven't got the money I need, and it's always a struggle. And so anything that can help release that pain, maybe, okay, and you get that temporary relief. Accordingly, you find people who get in alcohol. They're trying to find that either an escape or that release from what is really down deep in them, and that's not believing in themselves, not trusting in themselves, and things like that.
Yeah. I think I know my kids when they were in sports, there was a lot of parents that were like very into their kids being good, and it's easy to get sucked into.
Yeah.
I can remember when I would take Isaiah to his games and his practices, and like I can remember it when it first started playing. Like I remember feeling this nervousness watching him play and like living and die on every play. I remember he was a goalie for soccer, and if they scored on him, I almost felt like I felt worse than if they scored on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have these reactions. I would have these reactions that were just like I was feeling it too much. You understand?
Right.
Like I could like for example, my wife could go and she would just sit there, watch the game, and it was just like she's like, these are just kids playing soccer. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But me, I would like get so into it. But what I learned is that a lot of it was the things that I feared from when I was young. See, when I was young, I wasn't good at sports. And I can remember people making fun of me. You understand? That were on the team because I wasn't that good. You understand?
Right.
And so I felt like I'm reliving this again.
Yes.
You understand?
Yep.
And so now the thing is, if you would have talked to me at that time and just said all of that, if you would have talked to me at that time and came and said, hey man, you're acting like this because you're seeking relief or whatever, I would have been like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You understand? So to get someone to see that, or for you to see it yourself, because here's the thing, me and you are still not perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the thing is this, there's things in here of what we're talking about today that there's a broken well that you're going to, and there's a broken well that I'm going to right now.
Okay.
We don't. And here's the thing: when you don't know what it is, that's when you got to pray. Like, I wonder what is that thing, and then how you can start seeing what is the well I'm going to is
Yeah.
it's things that make you when you have a reaction that is more than needed. And what
Yeah.
that means is let's just pretend actions and reactions are all money. Okay. And I gave you $1 for this action, and
Mhm.
you gave me $100 back. And I'm like, what are you doing? That was too much of a reaction. You understand?
Yeah. Okay.
So anything that you're overreacting to, that is a clue to your sensitivity and to what your broken well is that you are going
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Right.
So that's just one way for people to understand
Yeah.
what they're going to. What is the broken well they're going to? How do they find their value?
Yeah. I remember an incident. My son played football.
Okay.
The kid was 100 pounds. Okay.
How old was he when he was 100 pounds? Does that
Well, he was a senior.
Okay, so well, that's
And
what I'm saying.
he wrestled at a flyweight, mate, man.
But that's what I'm saying. 100 pounds at 18 years old is different than 100 pounds when you're in sixth grade.
That's right.
See, that's what I'm saying. We need that context, you know?
But the coaches loved this kid because pound for pound, he was the hardest hitting dude out there.
Yeah.
But the thing, I remember one game we played in Mattawan, Michigan, and my son was the guy that had to go down when they did the punts or kickoff. He's the one that had to run down. And this one play, he took off and he ran down there just as fast as he can, and he just cold cocked this dude out there. But what was funny is that made me feel good. Then people start coming around. Wow, did your son do a job? And it gave me some identity.
Right, there you go.
Okay, it gave me some identity because he did that, and and that's what happens. Sometimes we do we use our kids as a
That's the thing. You hit the nail on the head there. So what happens is exactly. So what happens is this. You find something you're good at, even if it's accidentally, just like your son ran, did whatever, you get the praise, you get some, wow, that was great. But then what happens is exactly what you said. Here's my identity.
yeah
This is what
yeah
I mean.
yeah
Now, you know what that identity becomes? Well, you know what? There's another word that starts with an I that identity becomes.
uh-huh.
Idol.
Right,
That
that's
becomes
right.
your idol. Because now you're like, oh, how do I get people to like me? How do I get people to say I'm good? How do I feel
Yeah,
my worth?
yeah,
My identity. What's my identity in? I'm a football player. What's my identity in? I get straight A's. What's my
right.
identity in? Anything. Anything.
Well, I remember in high school. Now, I was liked by my coaches. I did make all state in football. I weighed 156 pounds, and they made me an all state fullback. Okay.
Wow, that's nice.
And, you're a crowd pleaser. And people come around, they Shannon, you did pretty good, you know, and you get that identity. And then when I ran track, Coach Kroom would just love me because I always come out with 4 first place. It was in the pole vault, which I held the school record for 20 years. It was sprint. Even though you wouldn't think this fat butt could sprint, but I ran a 10 400 in high school. That's 100 yards. And then I would take the 220, and then I ran a sprint relay. So the coach, he didn't count me up. He had points, And of
Let me
course,
ask you a question, Steve.
huh?
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How do you think being good at football and getting that recognition and your coaches liking you, how do you think that affected you?
Well, actually,
Even
it
even
made me
even
do.
even to this day,
Yeah.
even to this day.
Yeah. Well, it gave. I always loved the competition. So it gave me identity, and I still have people, mention things. Hey, but yeah, you did all right in high school, but now I'm in real life, and maybe things are not going as good. You don't get that accolades, and you're looking for that. And all of a sudden, your son comes along. He's playing good, and people saying, "Yeah, yeah." And then you kind of want to soak that up. So maybe it was filling an empty spot that I once had, but it was always temporary.
Right.
Temporary. You get to a point that, hey, what now? What do I do now?
Okay, but when did you get that to think that it was temporary?
Well, I can't pinpoint.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to say, I guess I'm just trying to get to this point. Here's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Here's what
Okay.
what I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to get to is this. It is not easy to see our idol. It is not easy to let go of it. It is not easy. So for most people, for instance, this is something we've lived with for a while because, as you said, we came with this identity, and this identity belongs to us. So it's not like nobody looks at it and says, well, that's my identity. I guess this is temporary. Let me put it away. Usually what happens is, and a lot of times age is a good thing. A lot of times as we get older, we really start letting go and we start seeing, I guess I'm not that person I thought I was. You understand?
Right.
So all I'm trying to say is, I'm just trying to get to this thing for everyone that's listening, or even for myself, is to understand that, like, soon as you kind of like knock one down and you're like, you know what, I'm chasing money too much. You know what? I think money is my identity.
Right.
And then usually what happens is another one's right there waiting.
Yeah. It occupies a lot of your time.
Well, the thing is, we don't understand how much sin has affected us. And what I mean by sin is just our own brokenness, how much we try still to be the man. We want to be liked, we want to be loved, and the brokenness in us knows that, like, we are kind of bad, but at the same time we're not that bad, but then we want to get some kind of accolades, or we want to get appreciation, and so it's very hard to stay humble and connected to God. It's worth the journey, though.
Right.
You understand? It's worth it to always keep close accounts by praying to God and saying, God, what am I putting in front of you?
Right.
You understand?
Well,
and so go ahead.
I don't have that anymore. Yeah, because I found something that was really real, and that was Christ. He fills a lot of that in there. Yeah, we still got reality. We still have struggles. We have things, but I look at it. How would you say that? I don't feel that pain like I used to. Because
right.
So and so I found that that's like our next question is, how do we begin to move away from these broken wells and learning to receive what only Christ can give us? All right.
Okay, go on. Why don't you? I want you to take a shot at this one first.
All right.
Yeah, just think about it and think about what you just said too.
Yeah. Well, it's when you try to seek success, make a lot of money, or things like that. I found that this is not where it is. But when I found Christ, he gave me peace in my heart. In circumstances now, yes, I have to go through the struggle. We still struggle, but I go through with a different type of outlook. I understand that Christ is with me. All right? And that makes it makes the struggle easier, if I could say it that way. Even though I go through it, I still got to work it out. But I still have what it cost me. Well, for instance, I'm dextrocardia. That means my heart is on my right side. I'm completely backwards inside. So that's a little bit of what my problem is. Okay. But I go there to have a nuclear stress test. And this gal puts me in that machine that goes over and they put that isotope in and they try to see how your heart's flowing and things like that. Well, the lady couldn't find my heart in the machine. All right. until she puts me upside down in the machine and inverts the head. Now she can read it. All right. With all that said, the doctor said you're going to have a triple bypass. So I'm a walking tie bomb. But I want you to know, Chachi, I have more peace in that situation. I would not panic. I just had total peace because of my trust in God. If you want to take me, hey, that's okay. But I had a total peace and trust. So here's the surgeon who does the bypass.
Okay.
He comes up, sits on the bed. He says, looks at me. He says, "You want me experimenting on you?" And I said, "Well, probably not." He said, "I'm afraid if I get in there, I won't have the right parts." And so they sent me back down to the cardiologist, and they put some stents in my heart, and it worked. And that's been several years ago, and doing just fine. So Lord took care of it. But
Yeah.
but the thing that I can remember is how much peace I had.
How much peace you had? Yes.
Yeah.
How about now? How's your peace now, though?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I may not be making a lot of money. I'm Social Security, and my wife had cancer for 10 years, which devastated my finances.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. You just keep moving on, moving forward, keep trusting. And I notice one thing, that he always seems to give me something at the right time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Very good. No, I think it's good. I think, I think for myself, what I had to learn is I had to learn what I was asking, that broken well I kept going to. What was I asking that thing to do for me?
I don't know.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that's why I had to ask myself,
Yeah. Okay.
And so, and that's, you see, all of this happens in a context. Like, you can't just give somebody answers, or you can't ask somebody that when they're not ready for it. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, like a lot of times it takes something in your life that kind of has to shake up that identity, to
Right.
shake up that, to show you this is a broken well. You're not going to get this thing. Because you have to ask, what do I want from this? Why am I searching to have so much money? Why am I searching to whatever it is?
Yeah.
And until you can see that you're asking that thing to give you something only God can, you're going to keep going to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so I think, and what I always, even again, past Sunday, the sermon, where it was basically saying, listen, you're going to be in the mountain, but you're going to come down off that mountain. Everyone is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So when you come to that mountain, where do you turn? A lot of times you turn to that broken well.
Mm-hmm.
You see, coming to Christ, it's not that we never turn anywhere else. It's that he's there with us, and he'll keep, as a father does, correcting us to go back, because as humans, we want to keep turning there. So what do? How do we move away from these broken wells? I think first, and I think there's a maturity to it. As you get older, when the Lord teaches you something through pain, that you actually see that this idol, this broken well, this identity, it doesn't work for you anymore. That's the first one, because then now you actually start to learn to be more dependent on him. And then what happens is not that you will never go to another broken well again, but what happens is you come back sooner. You turn back to God sooner. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, I don't know if you ever, like, I remember reading these, I've read a lot of books, and I've read these books on, like, I had a minor in psychology, and I read a lot of these books on addiction. And if you read them, you'll see, like, whether that's alcohol addiction or if it's, drug addiction, what happens is someone, when they first start off, most of the time they don't get addicted right away. They kind of go to it, and they're like, oh, drinking, this is pretty good. It relaxed me. Oh, this is relaxing. I'm not tense at work after work anymore. Then they keep drinking. Eventually it takes their life over. But for them to open their eyes, usually something's got to happen. Either they get in an accident or something happens, right?
Yeah.
But almost the bigger the addict, the more they tell you when you go to like these programs to help get yourself away from, they'll tell you you're probably going to fall again. You're
Mhm.
probably going to jump back. You're going to go back to your
Uh-huh.
abuse thing. And that's why they give you a sponsor. And they say you call, as soon as you fall off that wagon, you call your sponsor soon, you
Right.
know? And
We all
I think,
need help. Right.
huh?
We all need that. We all need help out
Right,
there.
but that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just trying to get away from this thing, and maybe it's just a pet peeve of mine. But I've heard so many Christians think that like once they come to Jesus, now they're going to heaven. They got nothing to worry about, and if you're not living good, then you must be really bad. Rather than understanding that like even with Jesus, He's that sponsor. He's that sponsor. So what are you battling? What are you battling porn addiction? What are you battling? Whatever you're battling, when you fall, go back to call your sponsor, call Jesus. You understand?
Right.
So the thing is, it's not that we won't go to these broken wells. It's that once you understand you're going to a broken well, you understand why, you'll turn back and go to Jesus quicker.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I'm sitting here saying, I have peace and all this, but hey, everybody's got to go through their own struggle.
Yes, but
And
that's
we
what,
don't want to put anything light on your struggle out there. It's
right.
just we was able to find the alternative that helped us. That was Christ that helped calm us. But we
But
still
here's what,
can face those things. And like you said, we still got reality in life.
right. And I guess what I'm saying too is this. What I'm trying to say is everyone's on, first of all, everyone's on a different path. That's number
Yeah.
one. Number two, all of us, many of us are on different paths as far as age. And I do believe why age is such a blessing is the older you get. Hopefully, the wiser you get, the more you've lived, the more you've seen. Like, for instance, if you go to like marketing, I think the age is 18 to like 40 is they're always trying to target. You understand?
Yeah.
Why 18 to 40? Well, number one, you got to be 18 so you have a job so you can buy something.
Right.
But why not 45, 50, 60? Because you're like, you know what? All that crap doesn't mean anything. You learned your
That's
lesson.
right. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
We
when
have to
you're
buy all
older,
these toys. Yeah.
I'm 47. My walk is a little bit different than someone that is 18. How old are you?
73.
You're 73. Your walk is different than mine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, a whole lot different.
It comes into it as well.
And a little slower.
It's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we don't want to ever put anything light of struggle that people's going through. And but the thing of it is, people, yeah, you got to struggle, but they tend to have a tendency to go for the wrong things that never last. And
Yeah, but
when
here's
I
the thing
say
though,
if you're
Steve,
tired, you know,
you do, but this is what I'm trying to say, Steve.
yeah,
This is what I'm trying to get you to. You do that too.
yeah,
You see?
oh yeah,
Nobody's perfect yet.
yeah, right,
You
absolutely,
see? So it's
yeah,
easy to look at someone that's lower and be like, I don't know why they don't get it. But it's also like you're doing something too because we're all human. Otherwise, you'd be perfect.
yeah, yeah, right.
You see? So it's like, it's not necessary to look at that person and be like, I wonder why they don't get it, but more so to look at yourself and say, what is there that I'm still going to? If I'm not
Yeah,
perfect yet, I bet there's something I'm going to. Lord,
yeah,
what is that thing?
uh-huh,
You
yeah,
see? Because we're all going to something. Until we get to those pearly gates, we are all going to broken wells. But how quickly we
right,
recover and go back to Jesus
yeah, we have,
is the thing. How quickly
you know,
we turn.
yeah, yeah. And I noticed that, we've been talking about this subject, about self-worth and value and all that stuff in there. And everybody is struggling.
Because,
They're all struggling.
yeah,
They had the same doubts. They had the same fears.
yep,
And so it's a work in process. But the thing we got to understand, we can always go back to Christ.
that's right.
You
Exactly.
know, we can always go
Exactly.
back to Him because He's calling us. It's that stuff that we take and say, and that stops us. Okay, I'm not good enough, or I am a failure, and you're afraid to move forward and stuff. That is what we call condemnation. But Christ wanted to call it. What's it? Christ wanted to call it. I'm losing the word. Um, not condemnation, but conviction.
Right.
Conviction means, hey, I did that wrong. I may need some help. And so,
But that's what's that again. But this is
right.
true what you're saying. This is true what you're saying. But I don't know. I get into the weeds with this stuff, Steve, because I'm very passionate about this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah,
passionate about. I'm very passionate about our relationship with God, our relationship with Jesus. I'm very passionate about showing people that this is real. I think a lot of times it seems too magical, too many answers, and so
yeah,
the thing is, there is condemnation and conviction, but speaking that way is almost speaking in a language that doesn't understand when they're going through it. It's basically saying this, man. The
right,
things, first things first, what do you feel, in what area do you not feel good enough about? See, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's different in that area. You
right.
see?
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. Become aware of that. Become aware of where is your broken well and what do you want that broken well to do for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that same broken well is the well that gives you conviction and condemnation. Until you understand that you are serving that broken well, you really can't come full circle to Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, it's not that broken well. Believe me, it's not that the drugs doesn't do something for you or drinking or whatever you're doing. The fact is, it's a broken well, but it's that doesn't mean that it can't hold water. So it is doing something for you. But
right,
what do you want to do for you?
right.
You understand? You have to
Yeah.
figure that out first before you go into definitions of to like that's condemnation and that's conviction.
Ah, okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
Because then it just becomes, at least to me, hits closer to home, you know? Rather than they kind of seem like a definition. What's condemnation? What's conviction? The thing is this: there's a broken well you're going to, and that broken well could be playing football. And you play football and you're good at football. Now everyone gives you applause, and you're like, you know what? I got to keep playing football. And I got to get better so I can get more applause because that's who I am now.
That's
But
a
you
very
know
good
what?
point.
You're going to get old one day and you're not going to be able to play football anymore.
Yeah,
Then what's the next broken well?
yeah.
You
You know,
know?
finances. You gotta have that house, and you gotta make that money. And
Yeah, but there's also being the nice guy,
yeah,
you know? Always being nice. Where deep down inside you don't want it to be. You're just always, oh, he's the nice guy. And like, oh yeah, I love being a nice guy.
yeah,
You see, you can make anything your identity and anything your idol, but the thing that needs to be your identity is Jesus Christ.
yeah, yeah.
And that's hard. That's not easy. That's not just saying, oh, Jesus Christ. That's saying, oh, that's our relationship. I got to be with him more. And that's not through some fake prayers or how many prayers I said. That's trying to like go to Jesus and say, man, Jesus, I know I have these broken wells that I keep going to. Help me, be with me, show me what those broken wells are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, well,
Yeah, we're
Chachi,
running, we're running, I think we're
I,
short on time now.
yeah, our time is up.
Yeah.
We're a little over time, but it's an interesting subject. I mean, we're all running through these struggles, and we're trying to feel that we're needed or whatever it is, that empty spot. We're trying to feel it. And sometimes we have a tendency to go to the wrong things, do that. And then we have to realize the only one that's going to take care of that is Christ. But it's a process. Okay?
Yep.
Chachi, you want to close this out in prayer?
Sure. Lord Heavenly Father, we thank you for your word. We thank you for this book of Jeremiah that we skimmed so briefly, but so powerfully, because that is where we learn about broken wells and how even thousands of years ago, your people would go to broken wells and your people go to broken wells now. But we thank you for the grace that you give us, and we thank you for the Holy Spirit that is in us that awakes us and tells us there's a broken well. Don't find your identity in there. Come back and be with Jesus. We thank you so much for that. May you continue to make us aware of these broken wells. Make us aware that you do not shame us. You do not get rid of us. You are there to love us and correct us. We
Mhm.
thank you so much for that. May you bless us all, those watching and those that are going deeply through this and
Yes.
can't seem to understand where they're at. Help them as well, Lord. And we're going to thank you now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Yes. And I just had a thought about that broken well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are doing stuff, you know, and it fills that well up till it gets to the crack. And that crack,
Say it again.
until we fill up our joy or whatever it is we're trying to fill up until we get to that crack. And then it starts leaking out. It is not satisfying it. So we ask Christ to come in, and we realize, hey, the only way we're going to do it, Christ comes in and he puts a little concrete on that crack.
You know what reminds me? Yeah.
Huh?
Go ahead.
And then we find, Christ he filled up with concrete, but yeah, we still go out. We find another thing that kind of makes us feel good, and we're filling up a little bit more, and it gets to that crack again, and it starts leaking back out.
Yep. And
then we got to realize, Christ, because that's what what the Jews did every time you turn around.
Yeah. But that's what we do. That's why the Old Testament was written, so we can hopefully learn from their mistakes,
So I look at it, and he'll come and fill that crack up more. Then he lets you move on, and see, we're eventually, that crack's going to start getting filled up, but it's never going to completely be gone away. But we have learned through experiences, and we're going to face these. We're going to face these temporary solutions or these problems until we eventually die and go to heaven.
So, well, the good thing is, each time these problems come our way, this is the good thing about it. When each time these problems come our way, and we battle and we fight, and a lot of the battle, the fight is him trying to get us away from that broken sister, and him trying to get away from that idol. But what happens is this: we take this idol and we're like, "Oh, this is the idol. Okay, this is who I am. This is my identity. I get my applause from this, right?" And we get the praise, and he comes every so often, and he whispering to us, "Come to me, don't go to that idol." And you're like, "Oh no, I love money. Look at all the money I'm making. My stock market prices are good. I'm making all this money." He's like, "Oh, come here." But you can then finally stock market crashes, you have no money, and you're on the ground and you're crying, and Jesus there, and he's not trying to say, "I told you so." He's just there. He's trying to, he's consoling you. He's just like a good father there. And then what happens is, it's through that pain that we learn a few things. We learn that it was an idol. We learn that God was with us the whole time, and then we get stronger. So that's what Jesus means that's what Paul means in Romans when he says all things work together for good for those who love Christ Jesus, because even the correction at the time even says in Romans, it does not feel good, but afterwards we thank heaven for it. Why? Same way a good dad, when we got in trouble for egging someone's house or doing something bad, and our dad, put the belt to us. We didn't like it when he put the belt to us, but you know what? 5 years, 10 years later, 20, 30 years later, you say, "Man, my dad loved me." Because there were some kids that their dad wasn't home to correct them at all. So even in our difficulties, when we learn our lesson and he shows us what we did, we see his love even more. As long as you're with Jesus, you can't lose, my friend.
Okay. You gotta watch getting them preachers wound up. They like to talk.
Yeah, see you always.
Well, anyway, we have end of our time here at PWC Truth Talk. Hey, go ahead and like, comment, and share this information if you find is valuable, that we can help somebody out there. So we appreciate everybody that come here. And most of all, if you've got any criticisms or things that could help us on our podcast, because we're new at this, and so we want to know what's working and what's not working. So hey,
if there's any like really criticisms about things that maybe even sound like a little harsh, or maybe somebody with some thick skin, like you wonder, do they have thick skin? Just make sure you tell Steve about it, and Steve will let me know.
Let me know. We can take it. I'm a little older than old Chachi. Yeah. All right. With that said, we're going to sign off tonight from PWC Truth Talk.
Thanks for riding with Chachi. Rolling out with Steve today. PWC Truth Talk family. You made our day. Thanks for joining Truth Talk. Thanks for sharing your time. Chachi and Steve say keep it real. See you next time on the line.